Okay, on this show, we welcome artists and special guests from all over the world. And my guests today are a duo from Birmingham, England, UK. They are the UK's first male and female Bhangra duo. It's a privilege to welcome Jin and Seetal to the Dannison Drive Time. Good day to you both.
Good day to you, Danny, and thank you for having Jin.
And Seetal, and good afternoon to you.
Yes, warm welcomes to the show. And how long have you been performing together as a duo?
As a duo, prior to the duo, we were obviously solo singers, but we started in 2011. So the musical journey of Jin and Seetal started together from 2011, but prior to that, we were solo singers.
And you're well received across the world. You have an amazing chemistry together. And what is the key ingredient to writing your music? Do you like to create the words first, or do you like to create the music first, then the lyrics? Is there a formula to creating your music?
I think it depends on what the genre of the song is. Like, if we're doing a romantic song, or it depends what it is we like. But I mean, for this particular song, we composed it ourselves, so it was we knew kind of it was going to be romantic, so we were looking for that kind of romantic type music to go with the words. It kind of works hand in hand, really.
Yeah.
It depends on the song. Sometimes we get the lyrics first. Sometimes we get the music done first, and then we find lyrics to actually match the song.
Yeah.
So, like I said, just want to chip in with what Seetal was saying, because this particular song that we're talking about is He Ranja, our latest release that we've released for 2020. Yep. I mean, the lyrics, I penned them myself. Prior to that, where we've done a sort of a dance type number, we had that track written.
Yeah.
So we did with songwriters as well. And then to the release, which we'd done last year, which was called It Son, I actually wrote that song. So it's a bit of both, really, Danny.
That's amazing. So on to the next question. Your song Here Ramja, is that correct? How you pronounce it? Can you tell the listeners?
Absolutely good.
Can you tell the listeners what the song is about and the message behind it?
Yeah, well, basically, the pronunciation, Danny, was spot on. He Ranja is a story which we've even put in our press releases as well, and we like to do that. But when we're singing, the song has to tell the story, Danny, and the audience needs to perceive it like that. So we actually went the extra mile this time, because He Ranja is the equivalent to Romeo and Juliet love story.
But without the tragedy at the end, you see. Because took the tragedy part out and changed it.
Very, very, very good. I know. There's Romeo and Juliet has been it has been retold in like musicals. I think it's Carousel, which is based on or West Side Story, one of them musicals based on Romeo and Juliet. You know, very, very romantic. Shakespeare as well, from our neck of the woods, Birmingham. And
absolutely, you're correct, because you know what it is with Shakespeare, and well, it's all arts, and it all sort of links in. So you can, West Side Story. I mean, they're incredible musical names that you've just mentioned. You know, so like I said, with Romeo and Juliet and He Ranja, when we collaborated, when we put the two songs together, I mean, it just sort of came out really well. So. When we've done it in our press release, we've actually linked it into the Romeo and Juliet story, but the way we've told it in our from our perception.
Lovely. And you also shot some music and video. Speaking about Birmingham, which is good to put your hometown on the map.
Absolutely. I mean, Birmingham. I mean, we do gigs up and down the country, and we go all over the world. But when we see that sign to Birmingham, and you've got that many miles away, it's a fantastic feeling, because you're coming home. So even though you go touring around the world and around the countries of UK, as soon as you see that sign of Birmingham, we really wanted to show Birmingham, because we're very proud of being from Birmingham.
A lot of good...
obviously we don't support the football team, Birmingham City or Aston Villa,
Yeah.
but we do. But we are very proud that we're from this country, and we're actually representing Birmingham and the UK as a Bhangra duo.
Fantastic. And exciting things happening to Birmingham. We've got the Commonwealth Games 2022. Birmingham's changing as a city as well. You've got the new metro line. That's exciting. And I was saying to you the other day, do you think people take the city life for granted? The city life has so much to offer, the shops, the parks, the people.
Absolutely. I mean, we as Brummies and as Birmingham, we get a bit of a rough end really, because we are the second city, but nobody ever mentions that in the media. And I mean, I'm very proud. Like I said, we wanted to in our music video. So I'd encourage your listeners that are listening to your program on the drive time that you go onto our YouTube and you see our video of Hiranja, which we wanted to show Birmingham in its at night, and it looks fantastic. Yeah. I mean, the way it's actually came about, and the way the picturization is done, it's really cool. Birmingham. I mean, I think it really shows Birmingham in a nice light. Yep,
it's a very nice video, high quality, and shows a nightlife in all of its glory. Your website as well, Jin and Seetal, GINANDSEETAL.com. That's got all your live performances, music on there. People can check you out on there.
Absolutely, we're always updating it, and we're on the social media as well, Facebook, and this particular track, Hiranja, is also available on Apple Music, and also, which is very popular nowadays, you can play it on Spotify.
Oh wow!
So you can it's available on all platforms really, but these are the two main ones.
And is it good to see Western modern music crossing over, combining Eastern music at the moment?
I am very, very happy and very, very proud that we are doing that crossover, and especially in the music video, I had that in mind because, like I said, I mean the chaps who've actually released our record label is a British record label, and it's not we haven't gone with an Asian record label this time around. For the sheer reason of going and crossing over to the world music platform to do to go and do folk festivals, and I think music has no language. It has there should be no barrier. Yeah. Music is a universal language, and the language of Jin and Seetal is all about spreading our music, and it's the language of love, really. Yeah. And that's what it's about. Even in the music video, in the YouTube, we went to a conscious effort where we've actually embedded there's translation underneath, so our people who are not actually fluent in the language of Punjabi, they can actually read it in English, and they can actually understand the song, what we're actually singing about.
Sure.
So we're very conscious.
And what are your favourite world traditional instruments you like to listen to?
I really like all sorts of instruments. I'm a big fan of guitar, and I like drums as well. And Seetal plays a lovely Indian instrument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I play the harmonium, which is it's like an accordion. Yeah. But with the accordion, you have to hold it sideways, whereas the harmonium, you don't need to hold it in your hand. You just place it on a table or a worktop or anywhere, and you just you press the fan, and then you press down the keys. But what I'm really into at the moment, I tend to listen to it quite a lot, is a Spanish guitar. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I love the sounds of the Spanish guitar. It's like a different sound to the other guitars.
Wonderful. And of course, outside of your music, you also perform at weddings, corporate events as well.
Yes, we do all sorts of events, depending on what clients want. So it's really good, and we do worldwide events. It's not just the Asian weddings and stuff. We do make that crossover, and we do multicultural events.
Excellent. And a question for Jinder. You are a bit of a fan of Jim Morrison as well. He of course was on the Doors, and you've obviously I know you've sung a few of his songs on the karaoke. What is the connection between Jim Morrison and yourself, if I can ask you?
Well, first of all, our names begin with J.
Yes, yes.
So that's one connection. But no, Danny, I've been a massive fan of the Doors. I mean, the Doors, Jim Morrison. I mean, when I really got into him, I was sort of obviously I wasn't there. I wasn't born when he was on stage live and direct, but it was something that I got into afterwards. But it was a big influence because as a frontman and having a band, and we've got that as well. And like I said, my solo career, I used to try and emulate his sort of performances, the dynamic parts, all the good parts of Jim Morrison, not the bad parts, you know. But I like the way he used to interact with the way he used to deliver the songs, and I used to take little bits and put that into my gigs and my performances. I've also had a lot of influences from like Pulp, Jarvis Cocker. You've got Blur, Damon Albarn. I was a big fan of the indie music and the indie scene.
We're going to play. On. We're going to play it. Do you remember Corner Shop, the Brimful of Asher? That was a big song in the '97. And Jim Morrison, amazing. Jim Morrison.
Those names, like I said, the ones that I've just mentioned. I mean, they're fantastic names. But that particular track, Brimful of Asher, that was a fantastic song.
And going back to what I was saying, Jim Morrison inspired you, music legend. He joined the 27 Club along the likes of Janis Joplin, Jim Morrison, Kurt Cobain, Amy Winehouse. So he did have that something about him. A guy taken too soon at 27.
Absolutely, they usually say all the good people go before, and you're right with the 27 Club, because it's a tough business, the music industry, and you need to sort of you need to have a fine balance, and you need to. I think back then in the 60s and 70s, it was a bit more of a different time zone, and music's always evolving and changing. I mean, when I started out on the Bhangra journey, and I started out as a solo singer back in 1998, and it's over the years we've had to evolve and sort of, and then, like I said, my first 10 years in the Bhangra music world was, doing gigs for smaller audiences, and then slowly it grew, and then it went to the European stage, and then eventually went to the sort of worldwide stage, and it's just a learning curve with music.
That's good.
And but it's always changing. The platforms are changing. The audience is changing, but good music always sticks.
Yeah, that's
and,
correct.
That's where people like yourselves, we're very grateful to getting us on air, and you yourself are a fantastic disc jockey, and also a wonderful singer as well. Wonderful. I always mention to you when I see you on the karaoke and stuff. So like I said, we're very grateful of being given this opportunity, because we feel very fortunate and thankful to the grace of God that has put us in this position.
That's marvellous. So Jin and Seetal, we're going to wrap up this interview now and play your new song now. Thank you so much for taking time to talk about your music and your music journey as well, and we'll see you very soon as well. So we're going to get your song on the airwaves now. All the best then, guys, and catch up with you soon.
Thank you so much. God bless, and just keep on doing what you're doing, matey.
Thank you very much, and same likewise to you guys. Thank you very much.